I'm going to make you roll your eyes in two words: internet challenges. Internet challenges used to be a good thing that we could all get behind because they were actually for a good cause at one point. Things like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which was meant to help bring awareness about ALS as well as fund research for it. But the word challenge, kind of like the word prank, has lost all meaning of what it originally was. It's no longer rising up to a challenge to better yourself or prove to yourself that you can do something. It now proves that you're the biggest a-hole on the internet for 5 seconds of internet fame. And nowadays it's to prove who's the biggest degenerate out of all of them. And just like pranks, it is mainly harassing people for the sake of it. Remember back during the pandemic, there was a challenge known as Devious Licks. The whole point of this challenge or trend was to go around and steal stuff, filming yourself while doing so, and upload it onto TikTok. Once you did that, you would hope it would prompt other people into upping the ante by stealing something of higher value or of higher risk. And this was happening at a time when kids were being let back into schools after quarantining at home. So kids would go to their schools and just start stealing things, from soap dispensers to bathroom stall doors to urinals. And this actually led to a lot of schools having see-through backpacks for the kids to wear just to make sure they weren't stealing stuff. The wildest one I saw, though, was a kid stole one of those Zambonis you use for cleaning the hallways at a high school and drove it out into the parking lot and started doing whippets. It was all going well until the cops tackled him. I'm pretty sure that kid got arrested. But with that trend, TikTok actually had to step in and ban the words devious licks from their hashtags and their general database to stop kids from committing crimes. A lot of kids got suspended, some got expelled, and very few got arrested for degenerate behavior like this. But this is what challenges have devolved into. Kids wanting that 5 second of fame and getting validation from random strangers on the internet because apparently their parents aren't good enough. Don't worry, mom and dad, sometimes your kids just grow up to be assholes. But with this, I've always wondered what would be this year's defining trend. And looking around, there haven't been a lot of trends or challenges, but I think I found the best one, mainly because it doesn't involve anyone getting hurt, and it truly is a challenge what these people are doing. It's a challenger trend known as raw dogging a flight, or flying bareback. Now you're probably rolling your eyes and thinking that raw dogging a flight has something to do with people breaking onto tarmacs and humping Boeing 747s until they're pregnant, but I assure you it has nothing to do with that. This whole trend revolves around one's resolve. The whole point of this is to go your entire flight, no matter how long it is, without any entertainment. God, the look in his eyes tells you everything you need to know about that flight, how painful it was for him to go through with this. He has the same look in his eye all the US soldiers had when they stormed Normandy. So you may be asking yourself, what would cause someone to want to raw dog a flight in the first place? And I guess unless you're a 500 IQ karma farming Redditor, you're not going to find the answer. So GQ decided to ask someone who actually does raw dog flights for a living. And you can tell this article is going to be a bit annoying because they unironically have the line, "From the gender that brought you frat hazing and Logan Paul." Oh god, that makes me feel old. Now, since reading GQ is infested with a bunch of ads and it's as boring as reading the Loud House fan fiction, I would be doing you a disservice by taking you along point by point of this article. So the TLDR of this entire article is that GQ interviews a guy named West explaining why he raw dogs flights in the first place, explaining how he works in the movie industry and that he gets sick and tired of the same old entertainment every time he flies. He even talks about how he raw dogged a flight that was 21 hours from London to Perth, Australia, just staring at the in-flight map. This man didn't sleep, he didn't listen to music, he said all he listened to was the rumble of the engines, which sounds a lot like white noise apparently. You see, Buddha meditated to reach enlightenment. Naruto meditated to reach sage mode. This man meditated to get to Perth, Australia, which honestly just sounds awful. It's like meditating till you end up in Detroit. West goes on to explain that people who enjoy No Nut November are no different than people who enjoy raw dogging flights, which I could see the correlation between the two. They're both about not giving in to your urges, one to masturbate and the other to enjoy the 40-year-old virgin while flying United. But this is raw dogging at its very base form. There's still a divine level to this where people have gone even further beyond plus ultra style. This is the double black diamond zone of raw dogging a flight. And if it doesn't sound as bad as it is already, people have made it a lot worse. You see, some people have added the challenges of not eating, not drinking, and most importantly, not going to the bathroom. Now, this could be very harmful to your health. There have been people who even bragged about having to pee before they got on the plane. And if you're holding in pee for 8+ hours, you're bound to get a UTI at some point. That's how you end up peeing into a colostomy bag. Brother, you might as well just pull out an entire pack of Marlboros and smoke it right there on the flight. I'm sorry, but if I looked over while flying United and saw someone with a 2-inch grip on an 8-inch turd for the next 7 hours of my life, I'd have to call the FBI or Saitama for that matter, for this is truly a god-level threat to mankind. And with this, I think it's best we end with some of my favorite highlights. That was a crying baby, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that thing in the background was a crying baby. This man endured an 18-hour flight with no food, no music, no bathroom breaks, and the final boss of what ruins every flight known to mankind. Look at this man. There's no life left in his eyes. I've seen OnlyFans models on Twitter that have more life and personality in them than he does in this moment. He needs to be checked into a hospital because I'm pretty sure what we're looking at is a corpse. Or check him into Arkham Asylum because I'm pretty sure this man's going to turn into the next Joker just because of this experience. But at least he's bragging. He got that sweet PR, baby. But you see, kids, these are lean times, and not everybody is supposed to raw dog a flight. And just like a chance in life, not every kid's gonna get one, sugar. So our final contestant, KJOPCs on TikTok, who's doing this for science, is giving us his experience of raw dogging a flight. You know, he kind of looks like he's still young enough to enjoy Sid the Science Kid, so it's ironic that he's doing this for science. Anyway, roll the footage, hun.
I have no idea if that video got 100,000 likes or not, but I'm raw dogging this flight. My AirPods are in my checked baggage. My iPhone is in my checked baggage. This is just taking video. This is gonna be doing nothing but filming all flight. I changed my mind, I wanna do it. I'm an hour in, and I was fine because I had the flight map, but they turned it off. Must you take everything from me? We got food though. This is the last bit of entertainment I'll have for 7 hours. Well, I did it. 8-hour raw dogged a flight. I didn't even let myself sleep. Why would y'all do this by choice? I let myself take one picture. Look at me. Yeah, I'm never doing that again. Don't ever ask me to do that.
What persona was that just now? Who was that talking? That wasn't me. God, I'm either giving in to the voices or I'm slowly turning into Roger from American Dad.
You hear that, guys? Jay doesn't like raw dogging flights and he doesn't see the hype around it. He's not going to do it anymore. And honestly, I would feel bad for him if I didn't catch him cheating. You see, Jay, I saw you enjoying that 5-star out of 50-star meal on the plane, and the rules of raw dogging specifically state you're not allowed to eat food. If I was a flight attendant and I heard you excitingly talking about raw dogging a flight like you're going to Disney World, and then you start eating that fish that looks like the sole of a shoe, I would have started beating your feet with a phone book. What's the point of rules if you're not going to follow them? You didn't just cheat the challenge, you cheated yourself. You took a shortcut and you gained nothing from it. I would have pushed you out of the emergency exit the minute I saw you bite into that lemon. I'm sorry, I get very emotional when people start cheating. You see, Jay, rules are what separate us from the animals. Rules are what separate us from soulless, godless commies and Taylor Swift fans. If you're not going to follow the rules, then you might as well go around telling people that Tupac was mid and slapping people's babies. That's why I want you to know, Jay, I'm coming for you. I've spent these last 2 days tracking down your IP address and I'm closing in on you. I'm gonna end you, you baby-faced motherfucker!
At the end of the day, I think Jay's response to this is kind of how someone on the outside looking in would react to raw dogging a flight. They look at it, they question it, they wonder if it's worth it, they try it themselves, and then they say it's not worth it and that they would never do it again, and question how people could do it in the first place. I do think raw dogging a flight is kind of like yoga in a sense. It's all about finding that inner peace within yourself, and for some, they kind of need something to stimulate or catalyst that emotion within them that allows them to find inner peace. Things like movies, music, books, maybe even a comfy pair of socks and a nap on a flight. But at the end of the day, I just don't think raw dogging the flight is for everybody. And well, I think it's going to be the best 2024 trend that anyone has to offer us. What? What do you mean it's linked to Sigma male grind sets? Well, that instantaneously makes it uncool. Well,